Ahead of the June 2017 deadline for digitization, the federal government says it's hoping to facilitate a meeting of players in the broadcast industry to resolve issues regarding digitization. This was made known by the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, in Abuja during a meeting with the chairman of the Broadcasting Organization of Nigeria, Mr. John Momo, who had suggested that the meeting be held to offer solutions to any challenges relating to the process. The minister said the meeting should be held regularly until the target date.
That stakeholder meeting, which I hope he will call very soon, we would not only discuss, issues that are strategic and important to the process, but we'll make sure that we finalize that meeting until and when we meet the target. It's very important. Also, we're talking about the channel owners, we're talking about the set box manufacturers, the digital, the signal distributors, the aggregators. Everybody, I think we need to meet regularly so that as we move forward, we would know that nobody is left behind.
Digital switchover is supposedly on course. But there are very many gray areas that we need to resolve. And so it was fitting for us to see the minister to get his buy-in. He's very much has an ear to the ground and he knows what he's doing regarding the DSO. And he welcomed the idea of a stakeholders meeting, which I put forward. The stakeholders meeting will be such that we'll get people like the fiber companies, the broadcasters, the platform carriers, the signal distributor, the content aggregator, even content producers, as well as the Standards Organization of Nigeria, who should actually be one of the stakeholders because of they monitor the kind of set-up boxes that will be manufactured in the country. And we all come to the table and address the issues confronting the DSO.
Chairman of the Broadcasting Organization of Nigeria, Mr. John Momo. Let's take a look at some business news for the day. Here's Anne Waudu.
Thanks a lot, Ijoma. Welcome to Business News. Nigeria has raised a total of 214.95 billion naira in local currency bonds at its first auction this year. According to the Debt Management Office, the federal government raised 105.10 billion naira in bonds maturing in 2036 at 16.99%. The Debt Office says it issued the 2026 bond for 74.9 billion naira at 16.99% and sold the 2021 note for 34.95 billion naira at 16.89%. The DMO added that it received a total subscription of 235.05 billion naira for bonds at the auction held yesterday. Renowned banker Mr. Atedo Peterside and the Governor of Central Bank, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, have disagreed over government's plan to revamp the economy. Speaking at the 14th Daily Trust Dialogue in Abuja, Mr. Peterside faulted the Apex Bank's directive on the allocation of over 60% of commercial banks' foreign exchange to the manufacturing sector.
Top government officials, captains of industry, and Nigerians from all walks of life at a forum to discuss how to reduce the hardship currently faced by Nigerians following the economic recession. To set the tone for the day, the Minister of Finance made a presentation on what the government has been doing to salvage the situation. One of the priorities of government, according to her, is to provide infrastructure, promote fiscal discipline, and create jobs.
We started in the cash transfers. We must look after the poorest. We have no choice but to look after the poorest in society. And I'm very excited about the cash transfers. It's been done successfully in other countries.
In his contribution, a renowned businessman, Atedo Peterside, thinks the government is not doing enough to relieve Nigerians of the hardship they are going through. In an 11-point presentation, Peterside picks holes in some of the policies of the Apex Bank.
CBN has inadvertently created a siege mentality thereby making privileged access to its foreign FOREX allocations, which are reserved largely for the politically well-connected, the best investment game in town.
The central bank governor disagrees with these points.
I would have chosen to remain silent, but unfortunately for me, I have been forced to speak.
He says the Apex Bank is doing its best to ensure that the Nigerian economy comes out of the present crisis and becomes stronger.
Within the limited resources at our disposal, we would continue to give emphasis to those who want to import raw materials that we cannot produce in a country.
Sound policies backed by actions are key to the attainment of socio-economic development for any nation. Experts believe that government policies must be all-encompassing if the nation's economy is to attain some level of success in the years ahead.
The local stock market is down for a third straight session this week on the back of continued profit-taking and weak performance from key sectors. Harriet Agbeni tells us more. Investors' lackluster sentiments towards major market movers at the Nigerian Stock Exchange pulled the All-Share Index down 17 basis points today to 26,201.60 with a lower market capitalization of 9.01 trillion naira. At the end of Thursday's session, in over 3,000 transactions, total volume and value came in at 196.46 million and 2.61 billion naira respectively. Access Bank, Diamond Bank and United Capital were the three most actively traded, with a combined volume of over 84.5 million units. In today's session, there were 19 gainers and losers each. The top three gainers were USC Property, Qtix and Continental Reinsurance, while the laggards were led by Diamond Bank, Berger Paints and Vitafoam. Those are the day's trading figures. I'm Harriet Agbini. Thank you, Harriet. Well, it's less than 24 hours to U.S. President-elect Donald Trump's inauguration, and U.S. stocks extended their losses today. Investors are very nervous about the incoming administration. It's a similar picture in Europe after the ECB announced it will keep its monetary policy stance unchanged. But as for Asian stocks, they closed mixed. Let's see the numbers. That ends business news for tonight. Thanks for watching. I'm Anne Nwawadu. Back to you, Joma.
Thanks a lot, Anne. Premium Times says its publisher, Mr. Dakpo Olonyomi, has been arrested by the police. According to the online newsmaker media, he was arrested alongside the company's judiciary correspondent, Evelyn Okaku. Plainclothes officials were said to have conducted a search at the office, saying they were acting on the complaint filed by the army. The arrest came days after Premium Times turned down the army's demand to retract news stories about the Nigerian army and its operations. The paper's editor-in-chief, Mr. Muskliu Mojid, condemned the raid. Now, Energy Works Technology Limited, a subsidiary of Obi Jackson Group of Companies, has added another feather to its cap with the fabrication of 9 oil loading terminal buoy anchor mooring piles. During the commissioning at the Nestoil Industrial Avenue in Abloma, Port Harcourt, the River State capital, management of the company says the move is a major milestone in fulfilling the Nigeria local content policy.
Top management team and staff of Energy Works Technology Limited, EWT, and Nestoil, as well as key players in the oil and gas industry, gathered at the Nestoil Industrial Avenue in Abloma, Port Harcourt, the River State capital.
4 or 5 years.
They're here to celebrate another feat of Nigeria's local content policy in the oil and gas sector, the completion of 9 oil loading terminal buoy anchor mooring piles.
This project has clearly shown
that three companies can work together and develop a clear growth in capacity building and growth in the oil and gas sector.
The EWT management team take guests on a facility tour of their fabrication yard. Then to the jetty, where the newly fabricated OLT piles were erected for commissioning.
EWT group under the O.P. Jackson group and sailing out to Korea for integration into the FPSO. We sail this facility off this jetty in the glory of God and believe that more opportunities will definitely sail through this jetty.
A very significant project, and the federal government of Nigeria, from the talks from the government, expects to make as much as 200,000 barrels of oil per day from this facility alone. So this is a very important contribution to the Nigerian economy.
For us, this is just the beginning. We're happy that the IOCs, including Saipem and Total, were able to trust us to give us this challenge, which we have also surmounted.
And with the recognition of staff who played significant roles in this project, the company is hopeful that the future of oil and gas in Nigeria is promising with local content development.